Hey, this is Lou Mangello from WDW Radio, and you're listening to the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. Let's do this.
The tangents as we continue all the way to episode 332. Goodness gracious. The numbers are getting so high. I'm struggling to keep track. This is why I write things down. 332 of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. And I can't do a Russian accent, so yeah, I'm not even going to try to quote anything with a Russian accent. Sorry.
In Soviet Russia, accent tries you.
Yes, really. I can't do it. It ends up sounding like British/Australian or something.
I want my void.
Yeah, really.
Moose and squirrel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just imagine I have a Russian accent and I just put on a really tight pair of pants. It still fits. Everyone to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany and Troy.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Mother Russia. No, I'm kidding. I'm in Indiana. Russia's too cold. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be okay this time of year.
Yeah, that's true. And I do like vodka.
I want to put in the part in on the Arctic Circle.
Oh my. It's a Monday.
Yep.
Today has been a very Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Preach it.
Yes. Yeah. Like even my physical therapist early today, she was just in a funky mood. She's like, I don't know what's gotten into me. And I'm like, trying to counteract the fact it's Monday, I guess. I don't know.
Good. Case
Just
of the
be careful.
Mondays.
Yeah.
Don't Romanov me into submission, please.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So, anywhoozles, we need to do the news. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be one of those shows.
Bear with us, folks. We'll get there.
I can speak English. Convention news, because well, we've been busy doing this, that, and the other thing, including me attending conventions. Salt Lake Fan X has been doing lots of guest announcements.
Oh gosh, yes.
I don't even know if Chrissy's been able to keep track.
Oh no, I'm sitting here going like I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, there's probably going to be some surprises for me too.
Yeah.
Over here. I'm like, oh yeah, they did that one. Yeah, sure. But no, yeah, they've made some pretty hefty announcements here. I'm just pulling it up so I can get
a little bit of everything. That's the thing. That's the one thing that Salt Lake Fan X does, is they do like a little bit of everything.
They
like,
really,
because we've already talked about like Christopher Eccleston, but then they're like Zachary Quinto.
Yes.
So it's like
Zachary Quinto is coming. The one that I their website's having a bit of a hiccup. The one I was really excited about, and I don't know if everybody else is excited about, but I am, Trina McGee, who, if you do not know her, she was Angela in
Boy Meets
World. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
So we've got her, we've got Will Friedle, we got Ryder Strong, and Mr. Feeney. What, William Daniels? But they were announced earlier.
Yeah. So it's like, for the people our age, it's like, look, it's a Boy Meets World reunion, and for your parents and your grandparents, it's a MASH reunion.
Yes, they are doing a MASH reunion.
Jamie Farr.
Yes.
Nice. Hello, Klinger.
And Hot Lips.
Nice. Loretta Swit.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, they get some. it's just interesting because you think of Comic-Con and you think like, oh, you're gonna get Marvel actors or Doctor Who or certain voice actors and things like that. Well, and then they do have a lot of voice actors like Frank Welker, Peter Cullen.
Your Twisted Tunes is going to be amazing.
Yeah, Twisted Tune's gonna be so much fun
because you've got like all of the
Ashley
Animaniacs.
Eckstein, yeah, all the Animaniacs. Holy crap, yeah. Oh, and yeah, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys.
Oh my goodness.
Although a few years
Because
ago,
you can.
yeah. Oh well, a few years ago we had an NSYNC reunion, so why the heck not?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Nick was on The Masked Singer
That is true.
in the last couple of seasons, so I guess he's got that going for him.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that. Flash Gordon himself, Sam
Of course,
Jones.
he's a staple.
Yeah, he's been here before, but yeah, MASH reunion, we got them, and just it's insane, and I mean, and they've been up
And they still got plenty of time to announce even more because it's not till what, September?
Yeah, September. They've been known to announce guests like the day before. Like the first one, I think they announced Stan Lee like a day before or a couple of days before. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Precisely. Henry Thomas, which if you do not remember, Elliot from E.T.
Oh, nice.
Which was like, it's probably the biggest thing he's done. But obviously now he's an adult. But yeah, and some of the kids from Stranger Things, Adam Savage from MythBusters. So yeah, they've been busy.
Just pick up Adam's book from the library today, so I'm really excited to read that.
Yeah.
So nice.
So yeah, they have been busy little beavers over there at FanX. I'm still trying to get figure out how much I need to save for a Christopher Eccleston autograph because I am getting one. I'm going to need
to high water.
Yes, if nothing else, because who knows when he'll be coming back around this way.
Exactly.
Yes. So.
Let's see. Birthday, Christmas, anniversary present.
Yes. Mother's Day. Throw that all in there.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I want. But yeah, so FanX, very, very excited. Lots of cool stuff going on. Like there's times that I'm just like, oh, we've gone to all of them. I mean, I think we could take a break one year, right? No, we can't. No, we cannot.
Have you seen this guest list?
Right, I know. I was just like, in fact, we need to make sure because we bought our tickets for last year, which obviously got canceled. So they should have rolled over to this year. I need to make sure that because I don't think they've sent them out yet. So hopefully they've got that figured out, and I don't have to panic just yet. It's just.
Well, and I thought I was under the assumption if you didn't respond, they just automatically roll them over. I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, that was what the thing said. It's just usually they send out like the little envelope with all your wristbands and if you get a T-shirt or whatever else. That.
Gotcha.
So, but I mean, it's just weird because last year we ordered them and it got canceled before they could. Well, the pandemic happened before they started mailing stuff out. And then they went ahead and canceled it, and they said, "Well, we'll get you your stuff for next year." So I'm sure it's a little hectic over there trying to figure out everything. Which I mean, planning programming at the library is huge and stressful and quite the logistical ordeal. I cannot imagine how much more so it is for a huge Comic-Con like this. So I'm not griping at them at all because I get it. So anyway, but yeah, we're very, very excited for FanX, and it's gonna be a good time.
I'm excited for you.
Yes.
I'm gonna stand in line for Christopher Eccleston.
And Twisted Tunes.
And Twisted Tunes, yes.
It's like if you don't do anything else, the entire convention, just those two things.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen Twisted Tunes before. I'm going to see it again. Like, holy cow. Yeah. I'm just right now like, Christopher Eccleston's gonna be there.
Yes.
So yes, and we'll get in line early for Twisted Tunes because holy cow, that one's just so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have two of the voices that I had in mind. So
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, because we've got Jim Cummings and, like I said, all the Animaniacs.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ashley Eckstein will be in that one, but who knows? Because they just sometimes they pull
I
random
think she
people.
would be game for it. I just don't know if she's ever done it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because
But I bet she would if they asked her.
Last time we went to Twisted Tunes, they got somebody, and I'm like can't for the life of me remember who it was, but it wasn't a voice actor, but it was like another celebrity who, actor sort of thing, and they just came and they were on the thing for a scene of stuff, and you kind of tell they weren't really used to voice acting, but they did their best, and it was still fun. And they had a good time, and so did everybody watching. So, I mean, it's not just voice actors who get pulled into this. It seems like it's everybody, and like the guy who kind of runs it, he's just sort of goes up to their table and say, "Hey, you want to do this?" And they're like, "Sure."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I would not be surprised if like William Daniels showed up and did it.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I remember who it was. It was John Rhys Davies who came. And
my God.
Yeah, and he has done voice acting, but you know.
Yes.
And I don't remember. I cannot remember the details, like who he played, but he was
Gimli,
just
hello, Sala.
Yeah, like he just. I just remember him just having a blast with it. And I mean, you think John Rhys Davies, he's kind of this, established veteran actor, very, very kind of dignified and whatever. And no, he was in it just like the rest of them were.
I'm probably just grinning from ear to ear. I can just picture it.
Yes. It was so much fun. So much fun. So I'm looking forward to it. And, Artist Alley and seeing people that haven't seen in more than a year and a half.
It looks like, I don't know if this is the year you were talking about, in 2017, they did Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, I remember that one. We saw that one. Or no, wait. Oh no, I saw that one on video because that was the year Alex was born, and we didn't go because he was born in August. And the thing.
Star Wars Episode 7 in 2016.
Yeah, I don't think that was like, I think that was one of the first times they did it. It would have been 19, and now I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Well, then there was a fan Twisted Tunes that they did in 2019 that I'm finding on YouTube. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
So, but still.
Yeah, just
there's a lot of. They've been doing it at Salt Lake for several years. So.
Yeah, they have. And I don't know how they do it at other cons. They put it in the ballroom, the biggest room they've got, because it just fills up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. All right. Moving on to other things happening in September. September 19th is going to be the Emmy Awards. So we just had the nominations announced, and thank goodness for the Emmy Awards. They're the closest thing to mainstream award ceremony that occasionally will give props to things we actually like.
Yeah, boy,
Academy. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
You at least as far as the Emmys are concerned, you can see there's kind of a shift. But they are
like,
more
this is
TV.
Gonna be our year.
Yeah,
Yay.
TV. I think TV is a bit more forgiving as far as genre is concerned, as opposed to feature film. But still,
and a lot of TV nowadays is fantasy, sci-fi, and with Marvel with their with their thing, it's kind of like, well, that's what people are watching, or that's what's on.
Exactly.
There is some of that award bait sort of thing, but TV tends to do that less because they need to get ratings. They need to actually get people to watch.
Right.
Movies, it's like, well, yeah, we want people to come watch and spend the money and that, but we really just want the prestige, and it'll be a limited run or something like that. So they kind of have ways to get around it. TV, no, it has to be on a channel that, like, the channel wants people to tune in and to watch. They're not just going to put some artsy fartsy thing on there to say
or streaming. It doesn't even matter if it's
yeah.
regular TV. A lot of these are streaming.
Well, yeah,
shows.
well, same with streaming is they want subscribers. So if they have all these things that are going to draw people into and to subscribe, then same thing, whether it's ratings or subscribers, it all kind of falls under the same umbrella.
So the Emmys, they do separate drama versus comedy,
which is probably for the best.
Because
it's two very different things.
Yeah, that is true. But outstanding drama series, The Crown, of course, yay. The Mandalorian,
which this season, it deserves it. I'm not just saying that because of a fangirlish thing. But.
Yes. Let's see here. Several acting nominations for The Crown, including Josh O'Connor for lead actor drama series, Emma Corrin, Olivia Colman for The Crown as well. Tobias Menzies for The Crown for supporting actor, Gillian Anderson, Helena Bonham Carter, Emerald Fennell for The Crown for supporting actress. Let's see. Comedy, not so much. Their outstanding limited series, so not a full season of television. WandaVision. Hello.
Gosh, yes. I saw that and I was like, holy crap, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain because I enjoyed WandaVision for the most part, and I'm like, oh, so wow, yay.
Yeah. And then outstanding lead actor in a limited series or movie, Paul Bettany for WandaVision. Outstanding lead actress in a limited series or movie, Elizabeth Olsen for WandaVision. Catherine Hahn gets Catherine Hahn for supporting actress in a limited series or movie for WandaVision. So outstanding guest actor in a drama series, Charles Dance for The Crown, Timothy Oliphant for The Mandalorian, Carl Weathers for The Mandalorian. This one I don't understand, and even the person nominated does not understand why they got nominated. Don Cheadle for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's in it for like 2 minutes.
It's like he's only in the one.
He's in the very first episode, at like the very start of the episode, and he's really he's in there as really the only other Black Avenger to go up to Sam Wilson and essentially be like, hey, you're Black, I'm Black, as one Black Avenger to another. You should have kept the damn shield, Sam.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder, because I mean it is guest. But at the same time, like Carl Weathers, he's like in season 1, he was a main character.
Right. But then he was more supporting, but he still did more in The Mandalorian than Don Cheadle did in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I know.
I wonder. It's more of like a slightly more than cameo.
Yeah, really.
Definition.
I wonder
even
if
Don Cheadle does not understand why he got nominated for this.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe this is one of those things like, oh, we should have nominated him or for something else, and we didn't, like last year or the year before. So this is our makeup thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, what the heck?
But the thing is,
Brody
though, like,
deserves some love.
I would have been totally okay pulling Don Cheadle out and putting someone else in for guest actor in a drama for anything else.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what. And then in the outstanding guest actress in a drama series, that we should have put Julia Louis-Dreyfus in there.
Yes, as Valentina.
As Valentina. So
yeah. I mean, Yeah, she was in it more than.
Yeah, because they put Claire Foy in there for the crown, which, yeah, I mean, we had that that flashback of her as young Elizabeth giving that speech after her father dies while they're out of the country. So, I mean, that was an emotional moment. I can kind of understand that. But again, she wasn't really in it a whole lot.
Yeah,
Charles Dance did more in The Crown.
Yeah, the guest actor thing, that's kind of an odd category, but
it's like I would just like put someone else in the guise. Sorry, Claire Foy, as much as I love you, pluck her out, and should have put Julie Louise-Dreyfus in there for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, but that's just me.
Oh well, these award things are still borked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, it's really amazing to see WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and The Mandalorian in there several times.
Although I gotta say,
and they're not for like technical categories.
Yeah. Although I will say, if WandaVision doesn't get outstanding production design for the half-hour narrative program,
there's something wrong.
There's something wrong because I mean, every episode you're doing a different era of television, and like doing all those little all the things that they did. We watched the show, and yeah, you know, if they tried to do another series, it would seem gimmicky, but for one season, it was so cool, and just how well they did it. And it wasn't, I mean, even in terms of a Marvel thing, it was so unique because Marvel never done it. I don't think anybody had ever done anything like that.
And to come up with theme songs for each episode for the era that they were in. I mean, that's not easy, folks.
Even like behind the scenes stuff, they were talking about like.
Even like WandaVision has like 23 nominations if you include all the technicals. Outstanding period and/or character makeup, non-prosthetic, music composition for a limited or anthology series, original music and lyrics, which is for specifically breaking the fourth wall, Agatha all along.
Not surprised at all.
Surprise.
That's still stuck in my head.
Outstanding main title theme music. So sound editing, sound mixing, production design, visual effects, casting. So
wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'm just scrolling down the list here. They have a category for outstanding commercial.
What?
Yeah, they do. Outstanding commercial. AirPods Pro. These are nominees. AirPods Pro for Apple AirPods. Alexa's Body. Amazon Alexa. It already does that. Apple Watch Series 6. Better. Mamba Forever. Nike. You Can't Stop Us. Nike. You Love Me. Beats by Dre. I have not seen any of these ads because I don't watch network TV.
Neither do I.
Streaming, but I'm like, you have a category for outstanding commercial at the Emmys. Okay, whatever. I'm just.
I would have been. I know they wouldn't, but it would have been hilarious if they voted for if they nominated one of the ones from WandaVision.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they won't, but
that would be so funny. Oh my gosh, this is just so.
The Emmys are special.
Very, very special.
They are indeed.
They're special, yes.
Sorry, I had to derail the whole thing for that because I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah. and I bet you any money that award for the best commercial is going to happen during a commercial break.
Oh, probably.
These are the words that were handed.
Probably the technical ones they usually don't, except for like
camera.
except for maybe some of like the music ones. So, but for the most part. So, but yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. This WandaVision getting all these I mean, I'm glad. I loved
Mhm.
WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
Just how clever and everything it was, and so Oh, outstanding main title design WandaVision. Oh my gosh, if WandaVision doesn't win that again,
Same.
Yeah.
there's something wrong here.
Yep.
But I'm really glad that Mandalorian's got a lot of really good
Yep.
good stuff.
Yep.
You got a few dogs in the fight.
Yes. At least this time around,
Mm-hmm.
we can actually be like, like I know that thing. I watched that thing.
So
I like that
did
thing.
they for that? Are they focusing on one?
What was that?
You kind of glitched there, Britt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I was just green.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Just checking.
Yep.
Cool. So that is that's what's happening with that.
Yep.
Can't really complain there.
No, indeed.
When the Emmys were announced, I'm scrolling through the Facebook feed. I'm like, what? Cool. What? Huh? Pinch?
Mm-hmm. Little bit.
Doing the Ken Young. Okay, what day is it? It's not April Fool's, is it?
Mhm.
Okay. Don't toy with my emotions.
Yeah, really. So,
And
well, I guess we'll find out in mid-September whether
I'll
whether
say
they're
this.
just placating us.
Yeah, I will say this: they definitely loved the episode in Mandalorian, the Jedi, because that episode.
Gee, I wonder why.
Gee, I wonder.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, moving on. Speaking of TV, if you saw I made a couple of posts Saturday evening, which is, I think I'm still tired from my adventure Saturday evening, was the local TV premiere, because it's on TV here in Indianapolis on one of our local stations, but you can go online and watch it on YouTube. But Saturday night was the local TV premiere of Paranormal Crossroads, which is the show that KJ started working on over the pandemic. So they hosted a premiere watch party at a restaurant and bar downtown Indianapolis. The show airs locally at midnight on Saturday nights. So it was kind of a late night for Chauncey and I. Maybe not so much for Chauncey, but definitely for me. He's the night owl. But it was pretty awesome to be there and celebrate with KJ and her co-hosts. Well, one of her co-hosts was there. The other one unfortunately could not physically be there. Just be part of that. Watch the episode. See people's reactions and everything. As it's happening, and it's cool. It's very cool. So like I said, if you're not local, you can go online and watch it. Link will be in the show notes, but that was really cool to be able to go to that and support her in that and see some of the other kind of nerdy girls again, even though we just saw each other last weekend at PopCon. And Brad from Creative Zombie Studios, who graciously has a booth every year for us to crash at, the Podcast Indie folks, and Brandon was there. Brandon Peters, multi PopCon Podcast Award winner Brandon Peters. Uh,
Apparently, I threw down the gauntlet inadvertently instead of taking my challenge seriously.
Yeah, except the thing is that we're not in the same category as him. Gold
That is-
Standard is in the same category as him. So
I know. I'm like,
you threw down the gauntlet on my behalf, I guess.
I suppose. I don't know. I didn't. That's not what I meant.
I guess as a fellow Southgate Media Group,
Possibly.
podcast, we're all backing each other up, I guess.
Sure, we'll go with that. So I was like, I was meeting on. Sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to speak for you guys, Nick and Zan.
It's okay. But it was fun. It was a late night, but it was fun. And speaking of Gold Standard, this month's Patreon exclusive episode is now up there, available for those that either join the Gold Standard Patreon or the Southgate Media Group Patreon. Either one works. I guess it just depends on whether you want just Gold Standard or if you want any and all Southgate Media Group Patreon exclusives. Because there's also the first episode of their one-on-ones. I think Rob's probably still playing with the title, where he's interviewing individual podcasters from the Southgate Media Group, and I happen to be his guinea pig and be the first person. So that is also available in the Southgate Patreon feed. So you can get content like that if you're not necessarily show specific. It helps regardless of who you're giving your money to. But anyway, Gold Standard, this month's Patreon in the feeds. Holly's on there. She requested it as one of our patrons, but then she also joined us to talk Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was lots of fun. So Holly, it's been so long since I talked to you. It seems like it was yesterday. So there is that. And also my chat with KJ from PopCon is also in the regular Fiveish Fangirls feed, for as a little extra squeeze. So all sorts of stuff to listen to. Isn't that exciting?
Yes,
We
all
love-
of you who have mindless jobs and need something to listen to, we oblige.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that is it for the news. We got some feedback from Shalane.
Nice.
And she says she is also excited for What If. It looks awesome. Yes, it does. She loves Captain Carter's outfit. She wants to cosplay as that. I think we're going to see a lot of Captain Carters.
I believe you are correct.
So you got the occasional one when when the comic series came out. But now that it's going to be more mainstream, I think we're going to see a lot more variations of Peggy. And she's also happy that we got most of the MCU actors to come and do the voices, including Chadwick, who was able to do T'Challa one more time before we lost him. She also really likes the animation. She really likes the colors and textures of the animation style. And then she met, talking about voice actors, she met Rob Paulson, who is Pinky to Maurice's brain at Salt Lake Comic Con back in, she thinks it was 2015. And they all start to blend together after a while.
Yeah.
I understand that.
It was that was the year I took her, and that was the year, or the Fan X before Jared and I got married. That's how I remember.
There you go. And then she mentions that she too is behind on Power Rangers and also behind on My Little Pony. And she's like, I should have watched those while we were in the pandemic, but don't worry, she'll get there.
Honestly, there was so much to watch during the pandemic that it's like, I mean, yeah, you sit there and you're like, well, I don't have, I've got all this time, but even then, you're like, I got a big stack of stuff. So
You got a big stack of stuff, and then you find out you go back to the ones that you've watched for however many times in a row. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly. I literally, on one side of me where I'm sitting right now at this desk, to my left, I have 4 DVDs. To my right, I have 3 books.
yeah, it's like that. There's that meme that goes around, and it's that you say, okay, before the pandemic, all I need is just one, like 2 uninterrupted weeks where I can just sit here and clean the house and get things straightened up. And after the pandemic, nope, that wasn't the problem.
Nope.
At all.
Not at all. First world problems.
Indeed.
Support your local library, people.
Please do.
Yes. And I'm not just saying that because one of my best friends and her husband are both librarians.
I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods, but we're gearing up for programming in the fall. So check with your library, see if they're starting to do in-person stuff again. Because I know at my branch we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I'm like, please, people, show up, because I don't want people to think, oh, there's nothing going on. No, there is. So please come to our things that we're planning, because we're really working hard on it.
All right, thank you, Shalane, for your feedback. We appreciate it.
Indeed.
All right, so moving on to this week's main topic. So sound the spoiler alarm just in case. But we are going to be talking about finally our return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the actual cinema with Black Widow.
About time she gets her own film.
Yeah.
Yes, this definitely needed to happen like 6 years ago.
Yes, and I was just watching a YouTube video, and they were explaining, I can put a link to it in the show notes, but they were explaining just a little. I'd actually seen a Twitter thread that actually went into quite a bit of detail about this, but up until I think Civil War, which, like, it was obviously by the time we got was it Thor or Captain America, First Avenger, when Disney bought everything. Even though Disney had it, Kevin Feige was not the person at the top as far as like giving the green light on what would and could be made.
Gotcha.
It was actually this other guy whose name I don't remember now, but apparently he was this old crotchety white guy that didn't want to like push the envelope at all as far as trying new things for the Marvel films. So when Kevin Feige came in but wasn't in the position he's in now, he was trying to push a Black Widow movie like as soon as she made her debut in Iron Man 2. Because she came out, because the audience reception was so positive to her. So Kevin Feige is like, look, the audience really likes Black Widow. We should consider making a movie with just her. And this crotchety old guy at the top of the ladder is like, no, people don't want to see women-led movies, even in the superheroes.
To paraphrase a certain director with an eye patch, you made a stupid decision.
Yes, exactly.
Although, to be fair to the crotchety old guy, I'll give him a little bit of slack, because up until then, we'd had such stinkers as Elektra and Catwoman, and at that time, comic book movies were still kind of like Marvel was gearing up, but they hadn't quite crested the hill yet. So, but honestly, I think it should have come out after Captain America: Winter Soldier is when they should have done the Black Widow movie, because by then, crotchety old white dude is like, he's long gone. Like, we don't even remember his name.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like,
or
you kind of should,
at least right after.
I mean, honestly, Captain Marvel should not have been the first female-led superhero movie. I'm just flat out gonna say it. It should have been Black Widow. Should have been the first one from Marvel. Marvel is to do that, but it sucks.
It's politics.
I know.
It's studio politics. Unfortunately,
Hollywood, as much as they try to be all progressive and whatever, they're the worst offenders of any kind of ism or whatever you want to guess. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So eventually, crotchety old white guy gets the boot. Kevin Feige gets put at the top of the food chain, and that's when things finally start cooking. Because like this guy didn't want Black Widow to have her own movie. He didn't want to do Black Panther.
Oh my word!
Either. So. Yeah, as much as we're all like, oh, Kevin Feige's a genius, I don't think a lot of people realize that he was not the top of the food chain until like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
he's that. So
so don't get too worked up. And like you said, studio politics, there's a lot of that garbage.
Thank heavens he is at the top of the food chain.
Well, yes.
Now,
we're all grateful now.
Yeah.
It's like we got somebody at the top of the food chain who's willing to push the envelope, is willing to try new things.
It's all these. There's these people who are just, no, this is how we do things. This is how we make money.
Yeah.
This is how it all works, and they don't like get beyond it at all. And you have to wait till they retire or die before you can do anything. And again, Hollywood is the worst for this, because they just, it's like government almost. They just sit there and you can't get rid of them. And no matter what you do or who you talk to or what thing you bring up, they sit there and they just are a pain in the butt.
They're like, this is the way it's always been done. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we're all over here like, even if it is broken.
Even if it is broke, because I want to keep my cushy little corner office job. And all my little peccadillos that nobody's gonna complain about, because I'm this so and so from this studio and I make all this money. And you don't dare cross me.
Exactly. So for anybody that's why it's taken so long for Black Widow to get her movie. Obviously the pandemic, we would have seen it sooner.
Yes.
But I mean the movie went into production when it did, because we finally got people in charge where they're like, yes, people want this, let's give the people what they want.
Also, what Wonder Woman helped the studios. Not that the studio not be all skittish about it, because the studios, like I said, they're like about 5 or 10 years behind the rest of us.
Hey, look what DC did.
And DC's the one that's supposed to like suck, because they screwed up Superman. They got Wonder Woman right. And that is in no way a dig against Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's amazing. It's not his fault.
No.
Man of Steel was kind of
But and even DC, I think, is kind of a good example of like your non-mainstream characters. Because like for me, I don't care about box office numbers, but for me, like DC's best movies are Wonder Woman and Shazam.
I agree.
Shazam is like Guardians of the Galaxy equivalent of just the most random, like kind of obscure character.
But they did it so well.
Exactly.
And it was fun. And you cast Zachary Levi in the title role, and he had a blast.
Exactly.
Anyway, anyway, back to Black Widow.
Yeah. Anyway.
We got out in the weeds here because it's kind of it's something that's stuck in my craw because I'm just like, really, guys, really,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Especially since we know what happened to her in Endgame, but you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the big red?
Which even that's not even really. We're gonna with that's something that's not even has like a pin stuck in it. Like, okay, that story is done. Like that story is still gonna continue, but we'll get to that. First, we need to talk about the main part of the movie, which
although I will say,
if we didn't like Valentina to begin with, and Falcon and Winter Soldier, we've got a little more reason not to like her now, which we will get to.
Yeah, although I was just gonna say, like, you know, with all the shenanigans with Loki, which I won't spoil there, but it's like you could have reset it and brought her back, but whatever.
Or Brittany.
That's Brittany doing her very best. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
That's Brittany saying, hey, guess what? It's raining where I live, and therefore the internet decides to freak out. So sorry, Brittany. It sucks living in the middle of nowhere.
I'm not making fun of you, Brittany. I'm making fun of your crappy internet and your store.
We've all been there.
We have indeed.
Yeah. Oh. All right. So Black Widow. The main plot. It takes place solidly right after Civil War. Like it picks up like 2-3 weeks after the end of Civil War. And Natasha is on the run because she's in violation of the Sokovia Accords. We get a nice appearance by pain in the ass Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross.
Yep. Still hated a butt a dink as ever.
Yes, and looks awful. I really hope that the way he looked was like something that William Hurt was doing for something else, and they just wrote that in why he looked so emaciated.
Yeah.
I hope that's something he was doing for a role, and that's not something that's actually going on with him in real life.
Exactly.
He looks awful, but they they just write that in. Like apparently that Thunderbolt Ross has had to have like his second triple bypass surgery.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You know, and just the way she does that slight little dig, it's like,
yeah,
okay, she's got your number.
Yes. Oh, but so she takes off to Norway, of all places, and is out it's beautiful. They actually filmed in Norway for some of it, so it's a beautiful place. And is in hiding, but her, I guess, living off the grid in the woods in the middle of Norway doesn't last very long because she gets tied up with the Black Widows, because what we have first, the whole movie starts with this flashback to the mid-90s when Natasha was like 10-ish, 10, 11, something like that. And then her younger quote unquote sister is several years younger. And you see them with their quote unquote parents. This is all just a front, which plays right into even in the 90s, even though we were kind of post the Cold War Red Scare, there was still this like, there could be like Russian communist operatives, like your next door neighbor could really be a secret Russian spy. Here, and that's literally what this is. They're not genetically related. They have been thrown together because all the women are part of the Black Widow program, and then the dad is a Russian equivalent of Captain America, essentially, with super soldier powers. So they really are a family of Russian spies living next door in the middle of Ohio. And they get found out So so they go on the run, and the girls get taken back to the Red Room to continue their training. And that really that opening, especially with like the opening credits with that like really like
different
really like
remake.
Yeah, it's like this just really like
Teen Spirit.
forlorn, sad cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
It fits.
Yes, yeah, because I mean it was the mid-90s is what the one that opening is set. So yeah, it makes sense. But just this cover is just like, and the flashes of like these girls that are like probably most of them have not even hit puberty yet and younger, being crated back to the Red Room in these shipping containers, and they're all dirty and just the whole thing's just awful. So like they just given us little bits and pieces of the Black Widow program in some of the movies and in season 2 of Agent Carter. So go back and rewatch season 2 of Agent Carter.
Now, was the Red Room ever brought up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Okay, it's been a while since I've watched that, and I couldn't remember if there was or not.
I don't think so. Yeah,
no, but it was even uncovered in Agent Carter, so which is scary. So but yeah, so obviously Natasha got out of being a Black Widow when she defected, when she meets up with Clint, and supposedly and instead of killing her, he decided to bring her in and see if they could make her a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent instead. But her sister, grown up, played by Florence Pugh, who is amazing.
Yes.
And hilarious.
I love it.
She is so entertaining in this. Is Yelena is still part of the Black Widow program, but ends up getting deprogrammed because, unlike when Natasha and prior, up through like Natasha's time, because we know the Black Widow program has been going on for a long time. Again, season 2 of Agent Carter. But they had been doing the kind of brainwashing with like the repetitive, like that was brought up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
The brainwashing when Simmons went undercover at Hydra, remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's maybe what I was remembering.
Yeah. It's the same type of programming that so similar type of programming where they would just mentally wear them down to the point where they could plug back in the information that they want them programmed with. But now the Black Widow program has realized that they can go one step ahead of that, thanks to Natasha's pseudo mother, who has figured out how you can chemically reprogram someone and make them completely compliant to any order, which we see later in the movie when she is able to command one of her pigs to stop breathing, and it does. To the point that it almost dies from lack of oxygen. So they've like, we can go even further and really program these girls chemically, but there's an antidote out there, and that's what Yelena gets exposed to, and it immediately breaks the programming. And because she sends the antidote to the safe house in Budapest, thinking nobody uses that one anymore. It would be a safe place to keep it, except that Natasha's friend, Mason, who went and picked up just happened to go to that safe house, pick up the mail, and brought it to Natasha. So.
Yeah. Little did he know that the mail would be tracked.
Yeah. Like you get it, like that. He's like, oh yeah, that's the mail from the Budapest. And I'm like, Budapest!
I was so happy to hear that one. I'm like, are we finally gonna know what happened?
And we do. We get to learn about Budapest. Because I'm like Natasha, it's Budapest.
Yes. Pest.
Yeah. And so we get to fill in the blanks for Budapest. And if you remember from the first Avengers movie, when Loki, speaking of Loki, is taunting Natasha while he's in his little glass cage, and like, the hospital fire, blah, 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 blah. Dreykov's daughter. Ding.
Yep.
That is the thread that we are going to go down. Yep. So it turns out that the whole thing in Budapest, with Clint was Natasha's last assignment to make her an official SHIELD agent is this guy, Dreykov, who is not only a Russian general, but the head of the Red Room. Needs to be eliminated. They end up using Dreykov's daughter as bait to figure out where he is. And in the process, they blow pretty much all of Budapest up just to try and make sure. And so that's what happened in Budapest, was them blowing shit up, essentially.
Yeah.
But that's also Dreykov's daughter, who at the time they thought was just a casualty of assassinating Dreykov. She's like, she was technically an innocent, but it is what it is. Because Natasha has to be very emotionally detached from those things. The
SHIELD audition went somewhat smoothly, but
they thought that they were successful. That's the problem. They thought they killed Dreykov, and in the process killed Dreykov's daughter. Turns out they didn't kill either.
As soon as Elena said, did you check the body? Did you verify Dreykov was actually dead? I'm like, crap.
Yeah, Natasha's like, there was no body to inspect. I'm like,
that means he got up and walked off.
Exactly.
Yes.
First rule of the MCU. Was there a body and a funeral? And even then,
check the casket.
And even then, check the caskets. And even
DNA
then,
testing.
And even then, it may not
dental
matter.
records, all of it.
Because the only person in Marvel that's died and has stayed dead is Uncle Ben.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and sometimes I wonder, maybe they'll bring him back as some kind of, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if we're getting essentially into the Spider-Verse in live action form, then we are probably gonna get some version of Uncle Ben.
Yes.
The MCU some of the MCU characters have the lifespans of the Winchester brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit. Little bit. So that's essentially the entire plot, is they need to take down Dreykov and help you and actually make sure Dreykov is actually dead this time, and try to free the Black Widows that have gone under this chemical, brainwashing essentially, with the antidote. With the antidote that they have. So Natasha has to team up with her sister, who there's a bit of bad blood between them, because it's like, because Yelena's like, well, you got to defect and go to the United States and become an Avenger, and like your face is on like magazines and stuff, and I was stuck here in Russia, brainwashed, doing all of this stuff. You got the better end of the deal. But again, Florence Pugh, hilarious, especially when she's poking at Natasha. She's like, you're such a poser. She's like, what are you talking about?
And I'm thinking of all the other characters and other, in the MCU and other TV shows that we've watched, that they have this certain pose. So basically you could do memes with all these other characters doing the certain pose, and then Yelena's, you're such a poser. And it works.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, and get like Yelena and like Deadpool together and be like superhero landing,
Yeah. Oh
there's a difference. There's a difference between the superhero landing and Natasha's poses, though. Especially the one she does when they're in that little like convenience store and she gets down with the one leg out and she's flipping her hair around, which is exactly what she did in Iron Man 2.
Yes.
And she's taking down the guys.
Yes. So. Trying to save Happy's bacon. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because it was kind of funny, because I actually did wind up having a chance to see this in the theater. A college friend had called me and she's just like, well, hey, I'm at our college town. I have tickets. The other two people that I was going to go with couldn't make it. Do you and your mom want to come have dinner and meet? Oh, sure. And Mom was like, okay, sweet. She's seen some Marvel stuff, and she's just like, okay, what can we watch? And it's like, and I was debating. I'm just like, we'll probably only have time for 2 movies. So I showed her the main Avengers and Age of Ultron, and she's just like, what's the deal with that pose? And it's like Iron Man 2. She's like, I think I kind of remember that one. Like, I'll show you that one later, then you'll get the joke.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to cut it close if we want to try to binge all the Black Widow movies.
Yeah.
Right. So she started.
A little bit, though. But my goodness, so funny. So, but then in the process of, they realize that they're going to need even more help between, not just the 2 of them. So they have to go and rescue their dad, Alexei, from Russian prison. Yeah, in the middle of like, nowhere, Serbia.
Yeah. Siberia.
Something like that. Which
Serbia is very different.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It was cold. There was lots of snow. Somewhere I would not want to be, because I don't like this. I don't like the cold. So, but played by David Harbour, which I was joking with. I was joking with somebody, I think at PopCon, because obviously this opened PopCon weekend, and we're like, yeah, David Harbour, his Venn diagram is having a beard, and being stuck in Russia.
Yep.
It works for both this and the upcoming season of Stranger Things.
Because Britt and I were just like, we had chance. I was waiting for the Hopper Stranger Things joke. Like, hey, you remind me of someone down the hall.
Well, and I think we all thought that when we saw the trailer, we're like, oh, that was Hopper in the Russian prison.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the facial hair that he has in this movie is for Hopper in the upcoming season of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So he just put on a ton of weight for fat Alexei, and then they filmed the 95 mid 90s stuff where he's younger and doesn't have a beard, which looks really odd.
Yes.
I like
really
better with the
I
beard.
know you.
It doesn't have to be
but-
like the unkempt beard, but just David Harbour without facial hair is just weird.
Yes.
And then he lost like 60 pounds for like the mid 90s stuff. And I guess in theory back to Hopper weight for anything else coming up. So
You do not want to challenge Alexei to a arm wrestling match and try to contradict him on history.
yeah.
No.
Not going to end well.
No, indeed, it's not.
He's made himself like king of the castle at this prison and just beats everybody at arm wrestling and tells all these crazy stories. He's telling this crazy story about how he beat Captain America with his own shield during the time when Cap was still on ice.
But now it's just like, okay, now which Cap is it? Did Cap take a little side trip when we turning the stones and bumped into Alexei and
That's true. That is very, very true.
I never thought of it. That's a good theory, Holly. I love it.
So he might not be lying as much as we think.
Right, yeah.
Maybe. Smart. I did not think of that. But he's the Red Guardian, which is Russia's answer to Captain America, but different from the Winter Soldier program, where they're all like trained assassins. Like he's like the Red Guardian with the fancy costume, more like propaganda, as opposed to in the shadows. So
insert the Soviet Union national anthem here.
Yeah,
YouTube it. It's a thing. It's a trip.
Surely someone has done like a cover of like the Captain America theme with like Russian instruments.
Or that style of the deep Mother Russia.
Yeah.
Glory,
like
greatest
Fiddler on the
country.
Roof. You know?
Yes. the Topol version.
Yes. And if
Make
somebody's
us
not done that,
proud.
get on it.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, so they gotta break him out of prison, which
I love that he was so action-packed and hilarious.
Yeah.
It was great.
And Nat and Yelena are just so done after trying to get him out. It's like, can we toss him out the window? Elevation's not high enough. I'm just like, and my mind immediately flashed to sorry, this will be the last supernatural reference, I'm hoping. The Sam and Dean, when they meet Bella, is like, can we shoot her? Not in public. You know, it was just that kind of line. And Alexi's is like, gee, thanks.
it's like I'm
right here.
it's like they're like it's like at this point, like the entire prison is like gone nuts. So it's not like they can just turn around and be like, forget it, because they know that they're there, but they're seriously regretting coming.
Well, and then not to mention the fact that Yelena started the avalanche after she got clipped by sniper fire. So basically they pretty much have to go.
Yeah.
I didn't let my hawk. This is a cool way to die.
Yeah. Several times Yelena's like, this would be a cool way to die. I guess when you're a Black Widow, you think about ways you can die a lot and whether they're cool or not.
Yeah, I would have loved to have Yelena meet Tony Stark. That would have been.
Yeah,
that would have been something.
The rumor mill had been that Robert Downey Jr. was gonna make an appearance in this movie as Tony Stark. I don't know where that came from, but it stuck around for quite a while. So I was half expecting it. just in case. Although I probably would have cried too.
Yeah.
Same.
But he doesn't. He does get name dropped.
Well, there's a what if scenario that they should add into that show.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know in what capacity, other than the fact that if they had taken that thread of, I think it was Yelena or maybe Alexei that was all like, why don't you take the antidote to one of your Avenger friends like Tony Stark and see what they can, one of the scientist Avengers, and see what they can do with it. I guess if they decided to go ahead and like do something with that, possibly, then maybe that's how RDJ could have shown up, but I don't see how it would have made sense with the way things went in here. So as much as I would have loved to see him on the screen again, R.A.P. Tony Stark. It is what it is. So 3 out of the 4 are brought back together, and then they're finally reunited with Mom.
Yeah, and
Again,
before the
Elena.
before the meetup with Mom, Alexei is just praising how strong Natasha and Yelena are, and it's just, and he's just like, why are you acting so cold? And it's just like, do you realize what they did to us in the Red Room? And that just the detail that Yelena is going into to make Alexei so uncomfortable. I'm just like, yep.
Yeah, you remember that conversation that Natasha and Bruce had in Age of Ultron? When Bruce was all like, I can't give you, because they were
kids.
They were at Clint's house, and Clint's wife is pregnant and everything. And he's like, I can't give you this. And, Natasha's all like, well, I couldn't even if I wanted it. And they keep it subtle, but in this you
could read between the lines.
Yeah, but in this they just, they're not like, it's kind of graphic, but not like, it's not like medically graphic. They're just like, Yelena is just very straight to the point. They pulled out my uterus and chopped it into little pieces, essentially. Which, she's not wrong. So,
so I have a right to be a little ticked with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you sent us back to that where they did that to us.
I did not sign up for this. You just went here, take.
Exactly. But yeah, so then they got to reunite with Mom, Milena, who herself is a Black Widow. In fact, actually went through what did she say? She went through the Red Room program 3 times?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 times before she graduated.
And then to boot, Alexei buries the lead that, your mama, she's Dreykov's number 2 or right-hand lady. And it's just like,
because she's the scientist who figured out how they could chemically brainwash the Black Widows and make them more compliant. So it's like, she's super smart, but she's using it for like the worst thing ever. Yeah. So, but that sets us up.
Reward for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it does set us up for like the I guess the third act, with the big confrontation with Dreykov and a lot of the Black Widows. We find out at the Red Room, which I saw some people complain to, like, why is the Red Room a floating like station? And I'm like, hello, SHIELD has the helicarriers. This is not that different.
No.
Right.
Essentially the Red Room is their equivalent of a helicarrier, where it can be airborne and hide from detection. So
you got to admit, it's a pretty ingenious plan. Where are they not going to look?
Exactly.
Either that or an underwater base, but
I was gonna say that that's even more cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
or
Well.
volcano. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
and
it's
the
it's
and the
Dreykov. It's not
Soviets- yeah.
Hydra, so
Yeah.
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 Soviets like to hide in plain sight.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Hydra
Mhm.
did it within Shield for so long, so
Yep.
True. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. The Red Room are like,
Yeah.
smart idea, hide in plain sight.
To kind of go back to the family dynamics, Natasha is just so dead set of like, no, we aren't a family. I'm just like, face it, the way you guys are interacting,
Mm-hmm.
you're a family.
Yeah. Like Natasha's like, she's trying to be so emotionally detached
Yeah.
from these
Mhm.
people that were her family, even if they're not blood. They were
Yep.
her family for a while there. But she's like, that part of my life was then. I've got a family now. Well, she did with the Avengers before Civil War.
Yep.
And and everybody, we were like, Team Cap, Team Iron Man, Mommy and Daddy are fighting. And
Mhm.
so it's like, she's realized that, every family that she's had has just fallen into, has just crumbled. So she really is trying to stay a one-woman show, no matter how much she really does need help. So I mean, we get the scene where after she and Yelena, I guess, make up after their fight. This is how we say hello to each other in Russia. Is trying to kick each other's ass. Is Natasha's changing clothes, and we see that she's just absolutely covered in bruises. And it just goes to show that she may be an Avenger, but she's one of the human Avengers.
Right. She doesn't have the superpower healing strength.
Yeah. She doesn't have the mechanical suit like Tony Stark does. She doesn't have magic like Doctor Strange. She can't turn into a giant green rage monster like Bruce. So she is one of the human Avengers, and she's alone. And it's her seeing with all those bruises and stuff that just goes to show how vulnerable she is being alone compared to the others, because she doesn't have, all she has is her training to rely on. Yep. Because she doesn't have the special powers or special weapons or an Iron Man suit and things like that. So I thought that was a good touch, just to remind her. And even with the one when they get tracked down by some of the Black Widows, and like that one falls and breaks her legs. And and they're programmed. They are literally programmed that if they are injured to the point where they can't, presumably, because they don't really go into detail, but I'm presuming that they are programmed that if they get injured in a way that they can no longer do their job, they have to commit suicide.
Ugh. Yeah, this is brutal.
It is. Yes. And the fact that Natasha was able to get out of this, just goes to show just how strong she is.
Yep. Well, and then too,
how she has morals.
How she has morals, and then how the Red Room has advanced with the times.
Yeah, because if she was able to get
technology,
and break the training, the psychological training she had gone through, then Dreykov was probably like, oh crap, well, if she can get out, others may be able to get out, so we need to step up the brainwashing to something that's going to make it even harder, if not almost impossible, for them to break, which is where they come up with the chemical stuff.
the chemical stuff. Well, and I think even the built-in trackers, because I think earlier Yelena had to cut into her thigh.
Yeah, when she broke her
During the
programming, yeah, she had to cut
programming,
out the tracker that was embedded in her thigh because, because the thing is like they're fully aware of like who they are and what they're doing, but they have no control over it. So it's a scary thought when you think about it. So yeah, we have to have our finale at the Red Room in the sky. We get again Alexei trying to be like he's in one cell and Natasha's in the other, and Alexei is like having this again, trying to have this father moments. He tried to have one with Yelena earlier, reminding her of her favorite song, Don McLean's American Pie. So he keeps trying to have these moments where he's trying to be like a father to them.
I love that.
It is adorable, but he does it at all the wrong times.
Yep. Well, and then to Alexei's chagrin, the heart-to-heart that he's having with Natasha, he's actually having with Melina.
Yes.
Who is veiled.
Because she and Natasha switched places. And we brought back the fancy mask tech that we've seen in Civil War, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Falcon and Winter Soldier, among other things. So that was cool.
And then Alexei thinks he has a comm, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
So sorry, we only had 2 comms.
It's like, what do you think this is? Leverage?
Exactly. Yes.
There's not 50 comms to go around.
Yes.
We have 2.
We have 2. Yes. You don't have partisans sitting in a van somewhere trying to help you hack into.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could see Parker learning some moves from Yelena and Natasha.
Yes.
And probably Elliot.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we and of course Dreykov has to have his
evil
villains. Yeah, the evil speech of evil. Yeah, it's like, oh, look at my map of all my widows that are all over the world. Look at all the control I have. All the things I can do.
See this ring? Isn't it pretty? It controls everything.
Yeah.
Twirl that mustache, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then we also find out that his daughter also did not die in the explosion. She was severely injured, but he was able to save her, and in the process put her in a suit and program her, in this case more like a computer than a widow, and made her taskmaster.
Yep.
Which I don't know enough about Taskmaster as far as the comics are concerned. From what I understand, the abilities that Taskmaster is supposed to have, they did not expand upon enough in people's opinions. Like, this character is supposed to be capable of way more. It's not so much that they made Taskmaster Dreykov's daughter. It's just, as Taskmaster, the character is supposed to be capable of way more than what they showcased in this movie.
Yeah. What I have heard from fans of the comics and everything is it's the same kind of thing. It was the same letdown as when you found out the Mandarin was what he was, and it was kind of it wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, compared to the Mandarin, at least this character is still capable of doing things.
Yeah.
Just way more.
Still mess you up, but not as bad as what I think the comics.
Yeah. Like one of the they I think they kind of focused on like one of the biggest, most iconic things that the character can do, which is they can mimic any opponent's fighting style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether they're face to face with them or just watching video, because like we see when we first see the character, they're sitting and watching footage of the Avengers from different fights so that they can learn their fighting style. But it's like they took like that skill and just went with that and ignored all the others that the character is capable of. We'll see. The character may come back. She's also chemically programmed on top of everything else. So they cure her too. And she ends up going with all of the cured widows because, of course, at least the widows that are there get cured. And Natasha is finally able to get her revenge because she's not at first because part of the training, even from her time in the Black Widow program,
didn't know about.
Yeah, that her time in the Black Widow program is on top of everything else. They were all programmed so that if they were exposed to Dreykov's pheromones, they physically would not be able to attack him, which, so some people might be like, well, that's just weird. But if you watch the first season of Jessica Jones and know anything about Kilgrave,
exactly.
I love that. I don't know if that was intentional, but to me, I'm taking that as a connection to Jessica Jones and Kilgrave's powers. So I am totally down for that. So I loved it.
So then Natasha has to give herself a broken nose.
Yes, you have to sever the olfactory nerve.
Dreykov.
Because apparently just a stuffy nose won't cut it. And then she is able to attack him, but isn't actually able to kill him that way. He ends up, the whole thing ends up exploding, and he ends up dying that way. But
hopefully,
we saw his glasses.
True.
So hopefully that means he's actually dead. And then all the widows get freed. And the Natasha and her sister and her dad and her mom, her little makeshift family, they have a moment, and Yelena, they all take off with the freed widows, including Dreykov's daughter, and the last bit of the antidote they have, so that in theory Milena can probably replicate it. And so they take off to go. All the widows are free, so now they have free choice. They can decide what they want to do at this point. And Natasha stays behind as is Thaddeus Ross. Comes barreling up.
Yep. And then before Natasha leaves, Yelena gives her that vest with all the pockets.
Lots of pockets. So they got over their bitterness towards each other, the fact that their family was really a lie, and now Natasha's realizes I had two families the entire time, and everybody goes, oh. And then how does she go from? Because it's everybody else leaves, so it's just her. Ross comes with all of his cronies. But then at what happens from there to the point where she is able to be, because it's like then we get another time jump, and it's only like 2 weeks, and she's now got her Infinity War hair, the short blonde hair.
Mhm.
And she meets
And
up with
Mhm.
what's his face, who has
she meets up with Mason again, who gets
Mhm.
her a better ride this time, the Quinjet that they end up using in Infinity War, because she's gonna go bust Steve and everybody out of the raft.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
she's got one dysfunctional family on the mend. Now she's got to save the other dysfunctional
yeah.
family.
So I severely doubt Ross let her go. So my
Oh,
guess is that
no.
she just weaseled her way out of his grip again.
Yeah. Hey,
She let
Ross,
him
look
have
over
a
there.
moment and think that he got her, and then was like,
Or
bye.
or maybe
Probably.
Valina or Alexi just, hey, night night.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah. Who knows? She got out of Ross's clutches. Not that that's probably that hard, because Thaddeus
No.
Ross is an idiot.
Yeah. He's a lightweight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. This is why Tony
Yeah.
Stark was going around recruiting people.
Yeah.
And not Ross. So yeah, and then that essentially that feeds right into Infinity War and Endgame, and we know what happens both in both of those. So, and then credits, blah 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 blah, of course. And then we get our mid-credit scene, which until this point, the movie has not really been like, oh my god, like jaw-dropping like connections, or there's some great connections to other stuff in the MCU, like the pheromone thing. I'm totally taking that as a connection to Jessica Jones and Kilgrave. There's the obviously the connections to the Avengers with Dreykov's daughter and Budapest, and all of those references. The face mask technology, again, other MCU stuff, including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's lovely little connections to other parts of the MCU, which I love. In general, this movie it's not really one to move the plot along, because it really is a bridge movie that connects Civil War to Infinity War.
Yep.
So there's not really it's a great movie. Unfortunately, Endgame and Infinity War set the bar really, really high for the MCU as a whole. So it's going to take a hell of a lot to reach that same level of, oh my god, this is amazing. This is a popcorn flick, is what this is. This is
wrong with that at all.
Yeah, this is the popcorn flick, one of the popcorn flicks of the MCU, where you just want to sit down and watch a badass character do their thing that they do best. There's some great fight sequences. There's some great, explosions. There's car chases. There's shit being blown up. It's all this stuff that you want, where you just want to sit down and shovel popcorn in your mouth and be entertained for like 2 hours. And not necessarily have to think about, oh, how does this connect to this? How does this connect to that?
Right.
Like we have been doing with the MCU.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and a lot of it, stems from the fact that, well, we know how Natasha's story ends.
Exactly.
Right.
Now we're just seeing how it began.
Yeah.
Right.
In a way. So,
and the only part that we get the connection is that mid sequence.
Yeah. That being said, the mid credit scene was like, oh yeah, you've had fun for the last couple hours, just shoveling your popcorn and just enjoying watching Natasha be a badass.
Yes.
Okay, now we're gonna go back to the continuity of what's actually happening now, as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe is concerned, with flash forward to now. Essentially, even though we're still a bit a ways from where the MCU is in universe calendar wise because of the flat, the 5 years in Endgame, but we're getting there. But essentially now-ish, 2023-ish, as far as the MCU is concerned. To obviously post Endgame, Natasha is gone, and we see Yelena at a grave. I'm presuming that Natasha's body stayed with Red Skull.
I'm thinking so.
So they had to just put up a headstone without having a body to bury. But she's out in the woods, out with nature near a tree. I was kind of hoping maybe that it would kind of be the same tree where her biological mother is supposedly buried, but I don't think that's the case. I think it was more the fact that there's like, oh, let's bury her, quotes, near a tree, but make sure she actually gets a proper headstone, something that her birth mother did not get, because her birth mother was convinced to give her up because supposedly genetically, even as an infant, the red room program had decided that she was a good specimen. So I guess they paid her mother probably a lot of money to give her baby up, but then her mother changed her mind and came looking for her, and they ended up killing her. Someone part of the Black Widow program killed her so that she would stop being a pest, try to get her daughter back. And Dreykov is like, yeah, she's buried near a tree with an unmarked grave. So it's like, and he's like, I don't remember exactly where it is. So I think that was kind of the point. It's like, oh, look, she's near a tree like her mother, but she's actually got a proper headstone, so that it's not just like, somebody's buried here, no idea who. We know it, it's like, oh, this is the final resting place of Natasha Romanoff. So Yelena's there to presumably put fresh flowers, I guess, and just visit her sister. And turns out she's not alone.
No.
Paying her respects, because a certain Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine,
with allergies.
Yes, she's not crying, it's allergies. That's because she doesn't have feelings. Has showed up, and Yelena's like, I thought I told you not to bother me while I'm on vacation, which means they already know each other. And Yelena's been doing work for Val. I'm calling her Val. She can come after me. Has been doing work for Val, but is supposed to be on vacation. But then Val's all like, well, but I've got an assignment for you. One I think you would really, really like. How would you like to take care of the person responsible for your sister's death?
Clint. It's like, wait a minute here, Toots. That's not exactly the case.
We know that. Problem is Yelena does not know that.
Doesn't know that.
Whether Val knows that and whether she cares or not is to be determined, because Val she is working on setting up her own little group, which we saw that with the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier with Cap, not Cap. Hashtag not my Cap. With his new outfit. And apparently Yelena has been recruited to that little group working for Val. But for whatever reason, she now thinks that Clint Barton needs to be eliminated, and I could almost guarantee that that's probably going to be the plot of the Hawkeye series that we're getting later this year.
Yep. And I just got a tension headache. Because
The reaction in the theater when they saw Clint and Valentina's, oh yeah,
Little
he
tablet
killed
thing.
your sister. Yeah, the tablet thing. It's like, that's a bunch of BS.
Yeah. It's like, no, he's not responsible. She literally fought him so that she
Yeah.
could die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Problem is, we all know that Yelena does not.
Yeah.
We don't know
Mm.
what Yelena knows.
It's
is
just like,
the thing.
Strange, can you do something with the mind transfer so Yelena can see what happened from Clint's point of view? So
Something.
Por favor. Ay.
Something. But yeah, that as soon as Val, like the camera, you hear the sniffling and the camera turns and there's Val, and I'm like,
oh, crap. What are you doing
"Okay."
here?
Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
You're here to cause trouble.
And
aren't
then everybody
you?
leaving, like be talking, chattering with other people, and I'm like, okay, everybody who does not have Disney Plus and or is not caught up with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is gonna be very confused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very confused.
Wasn't this
We would have all been confused if this movie had actually come out when it was
so
supposed
wasn't
to, and it would have been
Yeah.
exactly.
we all would have been confused, but the fact that this is the way things happen the way they did, it's like, if you're not watching the Disney Plus stuff, you're gonna be confused. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it just like, oh yeah, just in case you were curious whether the Disney Plus stuff is part of this continuity, yeah, it is.
Yep.
Well, I kind of figured it was, but
Yeah.
Yeah. But just in case you really, you really needed confirmation, it's part of this continuity.
Yeah.
But then we get to have a bigger discussion about continuity and canon
Yeah.
when we talk about Loki in a couple weeks. So.
Oh boy.
And stuff going boom. String theory. Bootstrap paradoxes.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Remember I mentioned that tension headache?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, Black Widow, great popcorn flick, still a good part, a good addition to the MCU. It sucks that it took this long for her to get her movie, but better late than never. And Clint is Clint's gonna have his hands full.
He's got a big old target on his back.
Yeah.
Oh.
But well, there we go. Here it is. Y'all wanted to know what happened in Budapest.
We know what happened in Budapest.
They blew shit up.
Yep. Which we could kind of infer from everything that happened, especially given like when it was referred to, but that's neither here nor there.
Just
anyway.
They're in the middle of New York and stuff's buildings are falling and stuff's exploding and stuff's on fire. So a lot like Budapest.
Although I would like to know what Clint's point of view was, because remember he says, well, you and I remember Budapest very differently.
Yeah. Wonder what he was doing.
I like that we got his voice, but I kind of wanted a bit more see him in that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. So that's Black Widow, everybody. Now playing in your theaters, or drop $30 on Disney Plus to watch it streaming, however you decide to get it.
Well, and it's done okay. All things, all things considering. So I mean, it was opening weekend $219.2 million globally.
Wow.
Yeah, that does include Disney Plus, I believe, the Premier Access.
Yeah, that
remember
includes slightly over 80 million domestic, almost 80 million international, and 60 million in Disney Plus Premier Access revenue. The weekend gross was within or exceeded various pre-release projections. Fandango reported that it had the most ticket pre-sales in 2021, surpassed other MCU movies like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man Homecoming. It was the largest box office opening since the pandemic began, surpassing Fast 9.
Wow.
And it was the largest opening weekend since Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which was pre-pandemic.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It
one.
would be interesting to get the numbers too, to see how many people did in theater and then also did the Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Well, they figure, at least according to Wikipedia, and their estimations, it was about a little over 1 million households for Disney Plus.
Wow. Cool.
Which at $30 a pop, that comes out to about $60 million. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you pay for Premier Access, does that mean it's unlocked in perpetuity, or you just get to watch it once?
You get to. I pre-ordered before my friend had called and said, "Hey, Thursday tickets."
Yeah.
That I get it, and I can watch it as many times as I want until October, when they put it into the main
in general population.
In general population. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Good to know.
Yes.
Well, there you
Trust me, I Mom's just like, how do I access Disney Plus? I'm like, you do this, you do that, you do this, and I come back because I rewatched. I'm just like, pick up where you left off, or start from the beginning. Like, I know what Mom was watching when I was at work. Like, yay, good.
Yeah. So, yeah, all things considering, it's a win. It's a win for Marvel. I mean, it's not going to be Black Panther or Endgame or Infinity War, but yeah, it was never intended to be. So.
No.
So.
And we will be, even though Natasha's story is done, we will be seeing more Florence Pugh as Yelena. So we got that going for us.
Oh, yes, please.
Including in Hawkeye. So looking forward to Hawkeye later this year, this fall. So
this is going to be interesting if Barton's kids happen to be there. It's just like, you're Auntie Natasha's sister?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Named after your sister.
Yeah. Well, and then how Kate Bishop is going to fit into all of this too. So as far as the Young Avengers, I would assume that probably, obviously there's going to be a misunderstanding, and Clint's going to be like, why the heck are you trying to kill me? And he's going to have to convince Yelena otherwise. And by the end of it, they'll probably be friends, and she'll probably end up hooking up with Kate Bishop and being part of the Young Avengers, would be my guess. So,
and then becoming anti-Yelena.
Yep.
Groovy. All right. Well, if any of our listeners want to chime in with their feedback on Black Widow or any of our other topics we've discussed today, news and whatnot, send us feedback. Our email address is fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. And then if you go to our website, which is thefiveishfangirls.com, you can get links to our social media, YouTube, and where to get your to download the podcast, and also ways to support the podcast as well. So I encourage you to visit our website. And again, we thank you for your support, whether it's through Patreon or our shops, or feedback, or commenting on Facebook, whatever it is we're doing. And hope you all are doing good and enjoying your summer. And for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere having summer and this insane heat wave. Stay cool, please. I'm ready. I was ready for summer to be over in June, but that's me.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I love the heat, even I have my limits. So.
Yep.
Indeed. So.
Yeah. So, all right, and just the last little bit of housekeeping. Yeah.
It's too hot when Rachel is complaining it's too hot.
Yeah, really. Yeah. As I mentioned, we are doing Loki in a couple of weeks because we will be off next week. As Chrissy is going on vacation. Much needed, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, yes.
And I will be out of town involved with some rather important family related stuff. And I will not be back until next Monday evening. So yeah, we will be off next week. But then when we're back, yes, we will be talking Loki. So we'll be staying within the MCU.
Jet ski's optional.
Yes, jet ski's optional.
Nah, bring the jet skis. That was. Never mind. I'm not.
That's one way to cool off.
Yes, it is. That's what. If I remember, I'll get to that.
Yes.
I have things to say about this one.
Continuity? What continuity?
Right?
Yeah. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. For now, we're going to sign off for this week.
Oh, did Brittany drop off?
Well, she's still with us. She just might not have sound that's cooperating.
Well,
so.
Brittany says goodbye, and this is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Great plan. I love the part where I almost bled to death. There's Brittany. Yay! She made it back at the last second. Oh, yay. Good times, good times. Stay cool, everybody.
You have been listening to the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at thefivishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/FivishFangirlsPodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official Fiveish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/FivishFangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback. You can email us at fivishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/FivishFangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.